Hi there! Do you want to learn how to do taxes? Well, you've come to the right place. My name is Melly Arias and I am a tax professional. Today, I will teach you how to do taxes fast and efficient. I am so amazed at how many people think doing taxes is so hard. It is not at all. It is simple and easy once you get to learn how to do it. Today, we're going to use a tax software that I really love, which is called Drake Tax Online. And this tax software makes doing taxes even simpler. So today you will learn how to do taxes for one single person with a W-2 and no dependents. Let's get right into the video. Okay guys, so today we're going to be learning how to do a simple tax return for an individual, a single person, one W-2, very simple. We're going to be using Drake Tax Online, which is my favorite all-time, my favorite tax software. And you're going to see why, because it's a tax software that you can use very fast, very efficient, and very easy to learn. So let's go ahead. We're going to put in our credentials. If you have a credentials, before I go ahead and put in my credentials, the way I got to this website was we type in draketaxonline.com and it'll redirect you to this website. So you put in your credentials. I'm going to put in mine. Okay, you want to click that you're not a robot. You definitely want to click this one. And then click sign in. Okay, so it'll show you this. You click X out of it, and then click on the tax year that you're going to be doing. So in this case, we're in 2026. I'm going to be doing the tax year. I'm going to be doing the tax return for tax year 2025. We click 2025. And here you will see a list of all your clients. In the case that you have clients, you will see a list of all the returns you have done previously. And you want to go ahead and click create return. After you click there, you will see this where it'll ask you for the social security number. It'll ask you to confirm that social security number, and then for the name and last name of the client. In this case, we're going to skip this because this is not a real return. This is a fake return for practice. So we're going to be clicking create test return. It's going to be pretty much the same things, the same format, but it's fake. So we're going to be using, so we're going to go be using here. You can see Cicely King. This is from the IRS website. I just went and typed in tax return, tax simulations, IRS, and this is what I got. There's a list of examples you can use for test purposes. And we're going to be clicking Cicely King. So we're going to be using her. And here you will see it'll tell you what to do, but we're going to X out of this and we're going to be clicking Cicely King again. And here you can see that it tells you that her name, Cicely King, it tells you her employment, her occupation. She's a coach at Anytown High School. And it tells you her status. She's single, no kids. She's a US citizen. It also gives you a little background story of her, tells you what her salary is. But we don't have to care. We don't have to mind this right now because we will look at her W-2 in a little bit. But for now, let's go ahead and fill out this information here in Drake Tax. So before I go ahead and click that, fill in her information, I want to show you here that next to this icon, it shows you a social security number, the 4 digits of a social security number, and it shows you on the left of the comma, it gives you an empty space for now, but later that will be populated with her last name once we save this information. And on the right, this is the last digits of her fake social security number that Drake Tax created. When you do a test return, it usually creates a fake social security number that starts with 400. So that's why you see that number there. So we're gonna go ahead and click single for filing status. For her first name is Cicely. Something that I want to mention is that every time you do a tax return, you want to type everything in capital letters. That is conventional. You want to type everything in capital letters. So we're gonna go ahead and type her name, Cicely, her middle name initial B King. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna skip email for now, unless if you had an email for her, you would put in that information. In this case, we don't have an email because this is obviously fake. And then for her birth date, we're going to be putting a fake birth date right now. Maybe she was, let's say she was born in the 1990s, so 1993, March 16th. Okay. Her occupation, she is a coach. And we're going to be putting a fake phone number for now, 862-565-4562. And for her address, we're going to be putting a fake address for now. But in this case, we do have a W-2 for her, so we could see the fake address that the simulation has given us. Let's see. Let's click here. We click continue. And in the W-2, says my form W-2. It took us to that form. Let me move it to this side. So you can see here, let me move this to the side as well. You can see here that it gives you employee's first name and initial, and it gives you her town, her address. Here, this is a fake address as well, but we're going to put it just for test purposes. 2344 Elm Avenue. And we're going to be putting her zip code. The reason why it asks for the zip code before the town and the state is because Drake Tax software does something really cool that I really like. And it's that when you put in a real zip code, it auto populates the city and the state and the county for you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put the fake zip code in a minute, but I want to show you how it does if it's a real zip code. So I'm gonna put a zip code in Newark, New Jersey, 07103. So you see, it auto populates the city, the state, and the county. This is why I love Drake software, because it is just so fast and efficient. It does things for you. There's other things that I actually like about it also, but I'll show you that in a later video. But this is the pretty cool thing about it. But for now, because of the fact that we're doing Cicely King and it's fake, let's just put that address to stay consistent. So the zip code is 00001. It doesn't auto-populate because it is obviously fake. And we're gonna put the city, any town, and the state is, let's just say Utah. And then we're going to be putting nothing for the county. Okay, so there's something that I want to point out, and is you can scroll down. So there's things that I didn't fill out here that they're not really important. Email doesn't have a asterisk next to it, so it's not that important. Date of birth, death, obviously she's not dead, so that is in another video. I'll show you the purpose of that in a later video. And then we can put that this has an asterisk next to it, so this is important to fill out, and it is if she can be claimed as a dependent. In this case, she cannot, because her her income is too high, but in this case, we know that she cannot be claimed. So let's just put no. And for otherwise, for this part, foreign accounts and virtual currency, I usually just put no and no. Usually most people just don't have foreign accounts. So let's just put no and no. And then we continue. It'll give you the firm information, the EFIN. This is all auto-populated based on the information you have put in your profile in the Drake Tax Online profile. So we're gonna click ahead and click. We're gonna go ahead and click save. And when I click save, there's something you're gonna see right away. Save and continue. So when we click save and continue, like I told you before, it shows you the last name of Cicely King right there, and then it shows you the last 4 digits. So that's how you keep track of the clients that you do. You can see there. And then we're gonna go ahead. What I tell all my employees is that we don't want to go ahead and put in these tabs. We don't want to click on each of these tabs to put in the information for the client. You just want to go ahead and click review forms right away. After you do taxpayer information, just go ahead and click review forms. So when you get to the review forms, you will see a list of forms that you can click on to start typing in their information. In this case, we just have a W-2. She's a W-2 employee. So we can either type here W-2 and it'll give you the form, or you could just click on it. You look here for it and you can click on it, form W-2 wage and tax statement. So let's click on add form. And in this case, the form is for the taxpayer. She's not married, so it couldn't be for the spouse. So we're just going to put taxpayer. And then let's get to this part. It says employer's information. You can skip all of this. You can, unless it's her inform. It applies to her. It says, is the employee name or address different than what you entered on taxpayer information? It is not. It is not different. It is the same we put in for the W-2. So we're gonna go ahead. We can say no. Wait, we can say yes. Oh, sorry. We can say no. It's not different. And for EIN, you want to type in employer's identification number. That is what an EIN is. Every company has an EIN. Every company that issues W-2s has an EIN. So we're gonna go ahead and type that in right here, 10-002-3456. And you wanna type, like I said, in all capital letters, the name of the, oh, look at that. It auto-populated because I had already attempted this before. I had already done this in another test return. That's why it auto-populated the employer information once I put in the EIN. This is another cool feature that I love about Drake Tax Software, and it is that it auto-populates. If you had already put in a company for one client before, and then you put it for another client in a later time, it remembers that EIN corresponds to that employer, to that company. So it just auto-populates it. But you can definitely change it if maybe it's wrong. It's never wrong, almost never wrong. But yeah, so you can just change it. In this case, we're just gonna leave it like that. I think it is correct. 10 center circle. That last time I had put a real zip code, but I'm just gonna put another the same zip code that it has now. It is 10002. And then for the city, it's again any town. And then let's just put Utah for the state, because it says the US, and obviously US is not a state. Okay, so let's go ahead. This is the most important part. Very, very important. The federal amounts. This is what the person was paid and how much the government with not the government, the company withheld for taxes from them. So let's go ahead and look at the W-2. Let me just put this bigger so you can see it. In the W-2, you will see that it says 1, wages, tips, and other compensation, and it tells you $28,345. Here, it also says in direct tax, number 1, wages, tips, and other compensations. So it corresponds to the same box. It gives you the number, so you don't get lost. It gives you the number. And we're gonna put in 28,345. You don't have to put the comma, it puts it automatically. And then you see here when you click on verify wages, it hides the wages that you just inputted. So now we're gonna put again the same number. So that's the way the software can make sure that you don't actually make a mistake with these specific numbers, because these are the most important number in the tax returns. So let's go ahead and click on federal income tax withheld. The same way, we're gonna look at the W-2. You see that number 2 there, and it says federal income tax withheld. That corresponds to that box. So we're gonna put in that number, 2707, and then we're gonna put it again to verify it, 2707. Good. Something that I want to point out is that everything here, box number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, it auto-populated as well. Drake Tax has that another feature that I really love, which is it auto-populates based on the calculations that it does when you put in the wages and tips and other compensations. They calculate how much to allocate for the Social Security wages, the tax withheld for that, and box number 5 and 6 as well. So it usually is correct. Sometimes it's not, and it is because the person had a retirement plan. And when they have a retirement plan, that number changes. But you can go ahead and if it's wrong, you can change it. But in this case, we see that it matches exactly to our W-2 that we have for Sicily. So we're just gonna keep it like that. It made our lives easier and simpler. So here, usually these boxes, 12A, 12B, 12C, sometimes it has information and you would have to put it in. But in this case, we don't have information for Sicily. Nothing in regards to those boxes is there, so we don't have to do that. So we can just scroll down. In this case, Sicily does not have a state information. Line 15, box 15, 16, 17, 18. Nothing in regards to her state income or her state income tax has been filled out, so you don't have to do that in this case. Usually you would. It's normal. It normally happens that you have to, but in this case, we don't have that information. So we're just gonna go click save. And we're pretty much done. We're pretty much done with the return. And I'm gonna show you how it looks if you have to print it out. When you click view return here, when you click view return, it'll bring you to this, and you click create PDF. It takes a couple of seconds, and then it says your return is ready. Click view return, and then it gives, in this case, it gives you some errors, some things that we have to fill out, but that's for another video. But It's okay. Don't worry about that. I want to show you this. So as you can see, it created a Form 1040 for you, which is the name of the tax return form that individuals have to do. And you see here it says her name, her last name, her fake social. It gives you her address, it gives you her filing status, everything that we put in. It allocates it exactly where it should be in the return form, in the Form 1040. So you can see here that the income is 28,345. You can see here adjusted gross income the same. You can see all of this information is auto-populated and it is correct. So pretty much you created your first tax return now. There's other things that you have to do, but this is just the simpler way if you want to get started in doing simple tax returns. You can start doing them. So I want to show you something. Go back to taxpayer information here. Um, we did all of this already, but once you're done with putting in all her information, her W-2 and her taxpayer information, personal information, you want to click Quick Calc because it does exactly that. It calculates the amount of refund or the amount that she would have to pay the IRS if she owes taxes, and it calculates that for you, so you can see it really quickly. So in this case, she will be receiving a federal refund of $1,436. That is amazing. And the reason why is because her federal taxes that she had to pay were only 1,271. But if you look at her return, her company had withheld they withheld $2,707 from her income, from her wages for tax purposes. So she would basically, because her federal taxes were 1,271, which is significantly less than 2,707, which was what the company withheld from her, she would be getting the difference as a refund. So that's why she's getting $1,436 for her refund. But I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned a lot today, and I hope you start making or preparing your own personal tax returns, at least the simple ones. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in a later video. Have a good one.